Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to give you the detailed breakdown of the Troy Lee SE4 dirt helmet available at RevZilla.com. So what I have on the table in front of me is the new SE4 dirt helmet from Troy Lee Designs. And I personally have been using Troy Lee Designs jerseys for quite a while now. I love their graphics, I love their wild nature to it. But when we're taking a look at the SE4 helmet, what really impresses me about this helmet is the fact that it is a huge step up in construction over something like the SE3. Just putting this in your hands, it's extremely lightweight. So you are getting a Snell DOT rating, but it comes in at 2 pounds 15 ounces for a medium. That's weight that we're normally seeing reserved for an ECE rated helmet. So extremely lightweight in nature, full carbon fiber construction. You're going to be looking at it has Mips technology. It's going to be an Eject System ready, better venting. All in all, it is going to come around that $650 price point, but it's just a huge upgrade over what you'd see with the SE3. And we're going to get into what all of those different things mean. So if you're not familiar with Eject, if you're not familiar with Mips, we'll go ahead and we'll break all those down for you in this video. Shell construction, like I mentioned, it is a carbon fiber Kevlar composite shell. And as far as fitment is concerned, when we're taking a look at this helmet, it is going to be a little more on the neutral side, so a little bit shorter front to back, a little bit more room on the side of the head. If you tend to lean a little bit towards rounder helmets, the SE4 is going to be one that fits your helmet or your head nicely. If you traditionally have a very long oval, really long front to back, this might give you a little bit undue pressure on the forehead. So just keep that in mind as you're breaking down which helmet is right for you for your next lid. Price point for this one is at that $650 mark. This is a premium helmet, and a lot of it comes into the construction that we're seeing. So we talked about the venting being an upgrade over the SE3. It's not just the venting, but it's how the vents are incorporated. So on the SE3, the vents on the chin bar have, more of an external feature to them, as well as the external hood scoop that's on the front. So for a lot of riders, when you get back and your helmet is covered in dirt and mud and you go to power wash it off, Troy Lee Designs was noticing that those were fail points. So by giving you vents that are more flushly mounted or installed or incorporated into the helmet itself, you no longer have to worry about that. Now there's a massive amount of venting on this. You're looking at 16 intake vents, 6 exhaust vents for a tremendous amount of airflow. And then when we get to the inside, you'll notice the channels that are cut out. I believe there's 9 channels to help promote airflow from the front to the back. We also talked about the fact that this is that Kevlar composite, or that Kevlar carbon fiber composite. It is a pre-preg carbon, and what that means, it allows them to use less resin, so you get a helmet that's going to be lighter weight in design, but it's still going to maintain the strength. And Troy Lee Designs is one of the few that's going to actually run their EPS all the way down into the chin bar to maximize protection as well. So there's a lot of thought out nature going on here. And it's also going to be a triple density EPS. So where the SE3 only gave you a dual density EPS, triple density EPS comes into play. And why that's important. So if you're not familiar with dual density, triple density, instead of using 2 different thicknesses of material, you're now using 3. So it's better for low speed as well as high speed impacts. And that's really the big debate that we've seen throughout the years versus Snell, which is traditionally a harder helmet, versus ECE, which is a softer helmet. What you're getting with the triple density liner is they're able to protect better for both ends of the spectrum, and that's why it's important from a safety standpoint. So we've talked about the venting. One of the things you'll note, the Breakaway Peak on this, you do get a replacement with it. So you get 2 peaks per helmet, because Troy Lee Designs know that if you get out there and you're just ripping around things, you do run the risk of damaging the peak. And there is going to be that replacement included with this, as well as a very nicely done carrying bag. So you can go ahead and you can throw your helmet in the bag, take it to the track, take it in the back of the pickup truck out to a farm field where you're going to be riding. It's just a nice little added bonus with this. As we move through this, you're going to notice that the vents in the front, we talked about those massive chin vents, and if I pull the peak up, you're going to see just at the brow, they've actually lowered the vents. So where the SE3, the vents were a little bit more towards the top of the head, they've incorporated the vents a little bit lower down, helps to really push airflow through. And the most impressive thing, even as I'm holding this, it's just that overall lightweight design that you're seeing with this helmet. As we spin this around to the back, this is going to be the carbon fiber color, and you're going to notice Troy Lee Designs is going to be done, their logo just kind of ghosted out on both sides, so you have symmetry coming into play. It is a matte finish, but you're also going to notice there's a translucent nature to this, and you're going to see that carbon fiber weave working its way underneath. You'll also notice that the mold for the shell is designed to help promote overall aerodynamics, and then when you get around to the back, you are going to have the extra little lip there to help to hold your goggles in place. And then you're going to see those 6 exhaust vents that we were talking about working through the back of the helmet. So as that airflow pushes from the front to the back, it works very nicely to keep your head cool in extreme temperatures. So let's get to the inside, because there's a lot going on the inside of this helmet. CoolMax and Drylex is going to be the material that's made up for the cheek pads. And as we pull these out, it does have the emergency pull system. And what I like about these is they snap into place, but they slide out extremely easily. So if you just take them, you can actually just pull forward and the cheek pads are going to slide right out for you. Contoured cheek pads, extremely comfortable against your face, really help to hold it nice and snug in place. And then it's going to be a very smooth material. Now the one nitpick here is when you're getting it on, the bottom material does have a little bit of a rougher edge to it, so you might feel it scraping a little bit as you pull it onto your head. But once it's on, the material itself that sits against your cheek pads, very comfortable. And the interior for this, same thing. We'll go ahead and we'll pull that out. One of the things that I really like about this is that the brow mounts themselves actually mount off to the side of the head. They're not directly across your forehead, so there's no undue pressure points there. And as you can see, it is a very thought out design to help promote a massive amount of airflow. So all of those vents are really going to work with the liner to make sure that you are staying nice and cool. And as you can see here, like I mentioned earlier, it is equipped to accept the Eject System. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Eject System is, it's a system that you can have installed into the helmet. So in the event of a crash, an EMT can hook up an air syringe and just slowly it pushes the helmet off your head, as opposed to having to have someone pull it off of your head. And this helps to protect your neck in the event of neck injuries during a crash. So that system does not come with it, but you can add it later if you so choose. The other thing you'll notice is the Mips system. Now that is going to stand for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. Say that 10 times fast and you'll realize it's a lot easier just to call it Mips. Like I mentioned in the beginning, if you are not familiar with it, we're going to show you exactly what this does. So you'll notice that large yellow insert in the helmet. And if I just take it and move it, you'll notice it actually rotates from side to side, from front to back. Where most helmets are just going to give you a directional protection from impact, what Mips does is it helps with the rotational forces. It helps to just diffuse that so it doesn't transmit all of that pressure to your head. The helmet accepts it helps to diffuse rather that directional blow. The other thing you'll notice as we break through this EPS liner, massive amounts of venting, or the channeling rather, cut in, and you'll see it. I can't pull that yellow piece out, but there's channels cut out throughout the bottom, throughout the sides. So all that direct airflow that's coming through from the vents has a place to go as it pushes from the front to the back, and it keeps it cool. And like we mentioned in the earlier, one of the things that really kind of does set the SE4 apart, or sets Troy Lee Designs apart with this particular helmet, is that the EPS is actually continued down into the chin bar itself to give you a massive amount of protection, not just for your head, but also for your face. And the last piece to note there is you'll see cut in behind where the cheek pad would go, there is going to be a little bit of a cutaway if you want to add a comm system for the speakers to be placed. So there is a massive amount of technology that Troy Lee Designs have put into this helmet, and it is a extreme upgrade from what we've seen with the SE3. So they took the SE3, they figured out what was working, what wasn't working, and then they really improved upon it to give you a helmet that completely knocks it out of the park for Troy Lee Designs. Now there's a lot of folks out there that are using Troy Lee Designs products on their motorcycles, and if you want to hear more about what they have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already using these helmets out there on your local motocross track. And if you have more questions for one of our gear geeks as far as which helmet is right for you, which one's going to fit your head correctly, give them a call, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot us an email, cs@revzilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the Troy Lee SE4 helmet. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.